one thing that I know for certain, this life's too short to be worrying about you hurting for long. Oh, it's already gone. Got time, but money's not something that's free. Seems the roll of the dice never rolls back to me. And oh, it's already gone. A bird in my hand, two cans in the other, start spinning around. Now here comes another, and oh, it's already gone. And here comes the feeling when you don't got nothing, and all you want to do is get up and start running. You can't hang long cause you know it's gonna start up again. Here's one thing that I know for certain, this life's too short to be worrying about you hurting for long. Oh, it's already gone. And all you want to do is get up and start running. You can't hang long cause you know it's gonna start up again. Here's one thing that I know for certain, this life's too short to be worried about you hurting for long. Well, it's already gone. Already gone. It's already gone. Go.
What's up, Jags fans? We are back and better than ever. This is 3 nights in a row of live shows. I told you, boys. I'm back on the grind now. I'm back to be here. I lost a little power in my area where I live. Like, all the neighborhoods lost power. So I don't know if anything changed on my computer. It reset. If it sounds weird, let me know. But I think we are going to just try to do it live here. Right, and the famous words of Bill O'Reilly, we're going to do it live. Tonight I'm excited because tonight we are talking about the AFC South and how the Jags kind of stack up against the AFC South teams. So this is a fan show. It's driven by you guys. It's driven by comments. I just kind of moderate comments and talk about my personal life a little bit and give some life lessons and, things that people don't normally care about. But we are going to be talking about the Jags and the AFC South specifically. So let me know what you think about the AFC South, who you think will win. I mean, I know we all kind of think it's either going to be us or Houston. What do you think the Jags' chances are of winning? Will the Colts and the Titans make any noise? Remember, Colts were a good team last year with Gardner Minshew at quarterback. So I think the AFC South is one of the better divisions in football. We're going to take a look at some of the depth charts of the teams, who they've added, who could potentially be liabilities on those teams, and basically how the Jags kind of stack up in that regard. Make sure you follow everything, Twitter, Instagram. I haven't been on Twitter too much. I told you guys that story the last couple nights, but something about my mental health has been good, not being on Twitter. So I don't know. We'll see what happens there. Instagram, the YouTube messages and the comments have been great. You guys have been so nice, so I appreciate it. We are rolling with just a bunch of live shows. I took a month off got reinvigorated, and now I'm back here, ready to go, ready to talk Jags. So, fan show, we always shout out the first person in the chat. The first person in my chat that comes up on my Streamlabs is DJM, who said, Jason-san. Good to see you, DJM. Jingal says, whoop, whoop. Brett Zimmerman said second, but he was actually third technically, but we love having Brett here around. Nolly Full Cab channel member. He's been a channel member for 32 months, so shout out to Nolly. He spams the Blake Bortles emojis. He can do that because he is a channel member. Brett Zimmerman, what do you guys think of the Gabe Davis signing? It's kind of one of those things where I'm like having low expectations, and then if I'm surprised, I'm surprised. He's a young guy. I think Trevor elevates the game of everyone around him. I mean, look at everyone that's been brought in outside of Calvin Ridley has gotten significantly better. Their career has gotten better when they've played with Trevor. From Christian Kirk to Evan Ingram to Jamal Agnew to Zay Jones to, Travis Etienne was a rookie, but, everybody has gotten better because of him. So it's hard for me not to expect Gabe Davis to be better playing with Trevor. Raw Jeeb says, all right. I'm locked in. Volkfang says, channel member Volkfang says, give us all the streams. That's it, baby. I'm on a roll. I'm on fire. Robert Atzert says, is the world ending? It's hotter than normal. It has been very hot. Very hot. It has not been raining here in Jacksonville. My grass is starting to die, so I got to run the sprinklers. And it is hot. It is hot. I'm supposed to play golf tomorrow at 10:30, and which means the round will end around 1:30. It's going to be hot. It's going to be hot. I was texting my buddy who made the tee time, and I was like, bro, if after 9 holes I'm dying, bro, I might just dip out at the turn. I mean, I'm not normally one to do that, but I may. Volkfang says the AFC South preview, they've all got good coaching staffs. Yes, like Brian Callahan. Feels like if everyone is healthy for the whole year, Jags roster is better overall, but only slightly. Like, I know that the trend of head coaches has been like offensive coordinators or former offensive coordinators. The Jags have a former offensive coordinator, and Doug Peterson. He was a head coach, but he was Andy Reid's offensive coordinator. Shane Steichen was the offensive coordinator for the Eagles, the Colts head coach. Brian Callahan was the offensive coordinator for the Bengals. So DeMeco Ryans is the only guy who's not an offensive coordinator, and he's coaching presumably what is probably the best team in the AFC South. I know the Jags split the season series with them. I mean, that first game that the Texans beat us was kind of their coming out party when they beat us 37-17. But then we went back and beat them 34-14. So I think there's a chance that we match up well with the Texans. Now, they did add some people. Maybe that's a good segue to take a look at their depth chart here. Actually, I didn't bring it up, but that's okay. It takes me 2 seconds. So if we take a look at their depth chart here, close out of these ads here, whatever they are. I mean, this offense is just absolutely loaded. Nico Collins. What is this, dude? Oh. This is what happens when you Bro, what? My computer is being invaded by a virus. Sorry about that. All right, Texans depth chart. These pop-ups are getting quite substantial here. Okay, so we know Nico Collins is a good player. Stephon Diggs was a huge addition this year. I feel like this wide receiver core, John Mechie's a good player, Tank Dell. I mean, Nico Collins, Stephon Diggs, Tank Dell, John Mechie, Noah Brown from Dallas, Robert Woods. I mean, I know he's, a little bit older now, but I feel like this is what made the Jags kind of think about prioritizing corner in the draft. And they didn't. So I don't know. Maybe you Tyson Campbell's not. Sometimes he's a guy that follows receivers around the field. Sometimes he's a guy that just sits on one side of the field. Ronald Darby I know you guys like Jarius Jones, but this is going to be a tough matchup for our secondary. We don't really know what we're getting out of Andre Sisco because of the injury. We don't really know what we're getting out of Antonio Johnson. He hasn't played very much. Our linebackers historically have not been great cover guys. So I am a little concerned about this group right here. And I think this is probably what leads me to be worried about the Texans. Now, obviously, C.J. Stroud showed flashes that he could be one of the best quarterbacks in the league last year. I like their offensive line. Laramie Tunsil, Kenyon Green, Juice Scruggs, Shaq Mason, and Titus Howard. That's a good squad. That's a good squad. They added Joe Mixon. They got Dameon Pierce as their second back. That's a good 1-2 punch right there. Dameon Pierce had a bad year last year, but his rookie year he was really good. So, obviously, this is the team to beat. I think they're probably going to win more games than people are expecting. Let's see what the Vegas line is. Vegas line on Texans wins. Not sins. I don't care about their sins. To win the Super Bowl plus 250, 9.5. Like I would smash that over. I would smash that over of 9.5 wins. I could see them getting to like 12. I really could. And I'm not just saying that because, whatever. But, they're a good team, particularly their defense here. Will Anderson. Bro, these pop-ups are going to be the absolute death of me. I appreciate the U.S. Army. Thank you. Maybe I'll give them a little bit of ad time here because we do appreciate our armed forces people. Okay, so we won't close out just yet. Let's give them a second here. If you're a Spanish person trying to join the Army, join the Army. It's a great career path. I talk to kids all the time, right? I work with students. And I talk about, like, after high school, you have to have a plan. Like, your plan cannot be, I'm going to get a job and just work and make money. Like, I know. Like, we can all think of people who did that and were successful. But most people, 99% of people need to either go to college, a trade school, or the military. Like, that's the bottom line. So, military is a great option. Have a plan. Have a plan. All right, back to their defense. Will Anderson's obviously a beast. This name might look familiar. Foley Fatukasi. Now, will he play like 2 games? Maybe. But with our luck, he's going to be healthy. He's going to be the best form of Foley Fatukasi, and he's going to destroy us probably. Danico Autry, Danielle Hunter. This is a good 4 right here. This is a very good 4 right here. Christian Harris. I love Al-Shahir Aziz. I think this is a huge pickup. He was one of the best players on the Titans defense. Huge pickup. Tutu Henry. Derek Stingley Jr. has a knack for intercepting Trevor Lawrence. Jalen Petrie had an amazing rookie year. Jimmy Ward at free safety. Kamari Lassiter and Desmond King. This is going to be a good team, man. This is going to be and even their special teams. Tommy Townsend and Kyami Fairbairn. If you're a gambler, I would smash that over on the Texans wins. I would. And that doesn't mean the Jags can't be successful. That doesn't mean the Jags can't beat them. I just think that the Jags do match up well just because we kind of have their number at times. But they're just a solid squad, man. They're just a solid squad. If I never root for injuries. If C.J. Stroud gets injured and Davis Mills has to come in, again, that's why you can never, count on this stuff because, every team's one injury away from being a completely different team. So, Texans, I think, win the division. There's a good team. Tired of these analysis automatically giving the Texans the crown in our division. Like I said, DJ, and we did split the series with them. We split it with them last year. So, I'll take that. Brett Zimmerman says, I'm giving the Jaguars a 75% chance to win the AFC South. With the signings that we made, we can honestly make a run this year. I hope so. If Trevor takes the next step, which I think we all kind of expect him to do, although we did kind of expect him to do that last year, If Trevor takes the next step, then we're just as good as the Texans. I think they have more offensive firepower. But listen, it's the NFL. You never know. Everyone's getting paid. So we have Josh Allen on defense. We have Trayvon Walker. And they're disruptive no matter who the tackles are. So if we get in C.J. Stroud's grill, force him to make some bad mistakes and some bad decisions, I think we have a chance there. Volk fan, got to think those wild card spots are an absolute fight between Jags, Colts, and Texans, the entire AFC North, and the Bills, Jets, and Dolphins. Yeah, a lot of good teams in the AFC. Let's look at the AFC power rankings just to kind of see. I mean, I know we're not going to like these because they never give the Jags. We'll go NFL.com. They never give the Jags, like, their due. Chiefs 1, 49ers 2, Ravens 3. Okay, so the first AFC South team is the Ravens at 3, or AFC team. Texans at number 6. They're saying they're the second best team in the AFC. Bills, Bengals, another good team there. Dolphins, Browns. I think the Browns are just always going to be that team that underperforms. Like, there's always going to be that team that underperforms. Is that how people think of the Jags? Maybe. But they're just always the team. Steelers and the Jags at 14. So, I mean, we're right there, according to the NFL.com writers. Robbie Santa says, late but here. I say the Texans are way overblown. Good, but not a dominant force. I say the Jags have a great chance to win the division, with the sleeper being the Colts, pending a healthy quarterback. Now, one thing that did stand out to me about the Texans is they were the most penalized team in the league last year. So, penalties kill drives, absolutely kill drives. So, if we play them and they're just holding, and they're holding Josh Allen, they're holding Trayvon Walker, they're holding Arik Armstead, and we get them in 1st and 20, 2nd and 15, then that's how you beat a team that beats themselves. But in order for that to happen, your team has to execute. Your team can't be committing penalties equally. So we got to play tight. We got to execute. We got to do those things. And if you do that in the NFL, you always have a good chance to win. If you don't beat yourself, you always have a good chance to win. Offense better go off, says DJM. Volkfang says consistency on the offense matters. I'm sorry. Yes. Consistency on the offense matters more for young quarterbacks. That's the best argument for an offensive-minded head coach. Otherwise, you risk having your offensive coordinator poached after having success. That's true. That's true. I mean, a lot of offensive coordinators got jobs. You saw some that didn't and that stayed. Specifically, the Texans offensive coordinator didn't leave. That would have been nice to see, but he's still there. Sea Breacher says, what up? Sea Breacher, I had a 9-round Rainbow Six Siege game earlier today where I clutched, and I just went off as Finka. Went off. I did move down to Silver 4, though, because I did take some losses before that game. Brett says, the Jaguars have a good shot at winning the division if we stay healthy. We fell apart health-wise at the end of last year, but I think we have a good shot at staying healthy this year. I mean, every team's always trying to stay healthy. Mark Moon says, you block Origin, my friend. I need to look into that. I know. Obviously, I know what it is. I just don't have it. But I appreciate it, Mark. Good call. Great call. Mark's always coming in with, like, great comments. Like, great little comments here. Like, you don't hear from him a lot, but when you do, it's like, oh, whoa, that's good. That's good. So I appreciate that, Mark. DJ says, nice try, Fed. Never expected a Jason to recruit us to the Army. This episode is brought to you by the U.S. Army. I appreciate them sponsoring this episode. We need the team to stay healthy to have a chance. It's not out of this realm to think that the AFC South teams will have, all the AFC South teams will have a positive record. That dude Evan says, yo, what up, that dude Evan? All right, we just talked about the Texans. Let's take a look at the Colts. And now I like Shane Steichen. I do like Shane. I mean, I like all the coaches in the AFC South. Even Brian Callahan. I do like Brian Callahan. I think he's a good coach. Take a look at the Colts. They got Michael Pittman, who's a beast. Adonai Mitchell, I know a lot of you guys wanted him in the draft. We'll see how he does as a rookie. Josh Downs, a guy that a lot of people also wanted on the Jags the year that he came out. He's kind of up and down. They had issues with the offensive line last year. I know Braden Smith played well against us, but he wasn't good. Will Fryer's kind of the same situation. Kelly Ryan struggled at the end of last year. Quentin Nelson's a dog, and Bernard Raymond, he's okay. Like, this is where they need some help. I'm not really sold that their O-line is quite there yet. Now, they drafted Anthony Gould, they drafted Matt Goncalves, and they drafted Tanner Bortolini. So they do have some rookies there that could potentially move into these starting spots. But if they don't fix the line, then Anthony Richardson's not going to survive again. Maybe they'll bring in Joe Flacco, who we know can beat the Jags. Jelani Woods, meh. Kylan Grayson, I don't know how. I've never heard of Kylan Grayson, and I watch a lot of football. Will Mallory, my boy. I coached Will Mallory when he was in high school. Great kid. We played a basketball game one time, and he almost dunked on me, but I got out of the way. I said, no, I'm not getting dunked on by a high school senior who's going to go to the NFL. I'm sorry. Like, you can take the dunk. I'm sorry. You can take it. Jonathan Taylor, Trey Sermon. Not a bad little group there. We look at their defense. Kwity Paye, good player. Grover Stewart, good player. DeForest Buckner, good player. Samson Ebukam, I think is underrated, but he does have games where he disappears. So we just kind of hope that those games are against the Jags. Now, they did draft Latu, a guy that a lot of people want the Jags to take. So he will be. The Colts took a lot of guys that Jags fans wanted to take. EJ Speed, Zaire Franklin, Juju Brents, kind of better players in the past than they are now. They did draft Jalen Carleys and Jalen Simpson, which I don't know much about them. 5th-round players, so don't know how much they're going to add to the team. Julian Blackman, Nick Cross, Dalise Flowers, and Kenny Moore. Again, I would say that probably is about – they're probably a little bit worse in the secondary than we are. The Colts, you just don't know what you're going to get because we don't know what you're going to get out of Anthony Richardson yet. Anthony Richardson's another guy where there's times you see him play, and he looks like the best quarterback that's ever played. Then you see times where it looks like he doesn't know how to read a defense. So it kind of depends on which Anthony Richardson shows up. He obviously had the injuries last year, didn't play a lot last year. I watched a lot of Anthony Richardson when he was at Florida. Again, like I just said, it depends on which guy shows up. He is a guy when he's at 100% is an absolute dual threat nightmare to defend. And again, our linebackers weren't great against quarterbacks getting outside the pocket. So I don't know. Robert Lamison says, you think add medical issues will affect him? Hopefully not, but maybe. Brett Zimmerman, what team in the AFC South do you fear the most? It's the Texans. It's the Texans. The Texans are a good team. The Colts are a good team. They're well coached. They're well managed. Someone said that they liked I tend to like the players the Colts draft, said Volkfang. And that's kind of how everybody feels. Like, everybody feels like that because they're a good team. And they draft well every year. And they do a good job with their contracts. Like, bringing Michael Pittman back. Some people thought Michael Pittman might be a free agent, might be able to get him. But they brought him back. 3 nights in a row, I am so behind on them. Good to have you back, says BT. Washington State Jags fan says, back at it. I like it. Listen, I'm on a tear now, boys. I'm on a tear. I just need a little vacation. Right? It's important to take a little break. I should have been better about communicating the fact that I was doing it, right? That was unprofessional of me. but I can say I learned from it. Right? I can admit my mistakes. I'll take ownership of that. Not a good job of me. But to be fair, I didn't really plan it. I didn't really intend to. I told you when I couldn't get into Twitter on my phone. I wasn't much to talk about. Wasn't feeling it. Didn't make a conscious decision to do it. It just felt right. And I'm glad I did because now I have like a renewed energy to do these shows. And that leads me to tomorrow morning. I know you guys aren't going to be, I know you're going to be at work or whatever it is going to be, but I'm doing my other channel, the Trent Show, where we talk about all sports and a little politics. Start tomorrow morning. So follow that channel for me. It's in the video description. I'm going to be doing it tomorrow morning. I'm really excited about it. Like I said, I'm in stream mode right now. I'm in stream mode. I've been on Twitch a lot. You can look at my Twitch is on there too. I just, I like to hear myself talk maybe. Maybe that's my biggest issue, right? I'm just kidding. I like doing it. It's a lot of fun. It's kind of like this is kind of like my hobby. Some people play pickleball. Some people fish. And although I do like pickleball and fishing, I would rather talk Jags with you guys. So thank you for being here. The Colts draft well, but they tend to do nothing in free agency. Volkfangs has flipped that for the Texans. Their free agency was good, but I thought their draft was really lackluster. Who did the Texans draft? Let's take a look here. Blake Fisher in the second round, left tackle. Ladarius Henderson in the 7th round, left guard. Kamari Lassiter in the 2nd round, corner. Kalen Bullock, 3rd round, free safety. Jamal Hill, 6th round, weak side linebacker. Some 7th round defensive linemen. Cade Stover, 4th round tight end. Yeah. But knowing the Texans, they're probably all going to be studs. So, Robbie Santos says, since looking at our competitors' rosters, if you could have 3 players from teams on our division, who would you take? Let's look at the Titans roster real quick. Titans roster, but I will come back to that question. I will. Let's look at the Titans roster, and then we will. That's a good question to pose to the chat. What 3 players would you guys take in next out of the division? All right. Let's take a look here at the Titans. DeAndre Hopkins, Calvin Ridley. Probably the best receiving duo in the AFC South. Potentially the league. I know Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. I know. But DeAndre Hopkins, Calvin Ridley is a pretty good one, too. Then you have Tyler Boyd, Treylon Burks. That's the best 4. That is the best 4 in the NFL. First round pick, J.C. Latham at left tackle. Might be able to get him a little bit with Josh Allen, hopefully. Peter Skronsky, who was a great pick in 2023, a player I really wanted, but obviously he was drafted before our pick. Lloyd Cushenberry, good player. Daniel Brunskill, don't know much about him. They got him from San Francisco. And then Nick Pettit-Frere, I don't think he's a good player at all. So I think there's potential here and potential here. So, again, this is kind of went back to I think that Josh Allen, Trevon Walker are going to have to be beasts because they can beat some of these guys. They can beat some of these guys in this division. And, for the Jags to win the AFC South, both of those players, Josh Allen and Trevon Walker, are going to need to have good seasons. Both of them. If we're going to win the AFC South. And I know that's an obvious, duh, right? Every team's DNs need to play good to win. I get that. But I'm talking specifically about the other teams in the AFC South where some chinks in the armor might be is at those bookend tackle positions. They expect J.C. Latham to be good, but he's a rookie out of Alabama. I know Nick Pettit-Frere is not good, right? We looked at the Texans. I mean, they're pretty good across the board, but if you're going to get them, that's where you're going to get them. I looked at the Colts. Again, you're going to get them. That's where you're going to get them. I actually like Will Levis. I like Will Levis a lot. I've said this before on this show. I like Will Levis. I think he is an outstanding quarterback. I've seen him make throws. I know also about Anthony Richardson where I've seen him make plays. I've seen him make plays that like make you think that he's outstanding, but I've seen Will Levis make throws that lead me to believe he may have one of the best arms in the NFL. I'm not kidding. I'm not, and I know that's a lot to say, but we watched some film last year of the Titans where Will Levis was making throws off balance, sidearm, that were just incredible. He had one throw off his back foot that I think went 60 yards. And it wasn't caught, but the fact that he was able to wing it off his back foot 60 yards, absolutely insane. Dude's got a generational arm. I can admit that. I got Mason Rudolph, which is pathetic, and Malik Willis, which is also pathetic. So not much depth behind there, but what team really has depth? Tony Pollard is a big addition from Dallas. Tyjae Spears is always your third down receiving back. He's always going to kill it. Hassan Haskins. So the offense isn't bad. Not bad at all. I mean, they have some skill position players. Aquanquo just seems to kill the Jags every time we play him. For some reason, we cannot cover him for some reason. He'll have he'll have 2 catches, 2 touchdowns for 8 yards when he plays the Jags. So, solid offense here. Solid offense here. We flip over to their defense. This is where you might see a little bit of issues. Sebastian Joseph Day out of San Francisco. Again, another guy. Just why? Why? What is up with these ad blockers, guys? Wait a second. We lost it. Dude, these ad blockers. I need to get the origin, the U origin. All right. Defense, again, don't know much about him out of San Francisco. Tavondre Sweat, second-round pick. Another guy a lot of Jags fans wanted. Jeffrey Simmons is obviously a dog. Harold Landry's a dog. Jack Gibbons and Kenneth Murray. You can keep them. Your boy Arden Key still there. Chidobe Awunzi out of Cincinnati. Amani Hooker, Elijah Molden, L'Jarius Sneed, and Roger McCreary. All right, so if there's 3 players that I would take, DeAndre Hopkins, for sure. 100%. Probably Quentin Nelson. And maybe I really like Jalen Petrie. We already took a receiver. I would probably take a defensive. Oh, the Army. Let's give the Army their due here. For all you Spanish speakers. That's a good question. I would take Jalen Petrie, I guess. Yeah. Jalen Petrie. Yeah, good player. DeAndre Hopkins. Quentin Nelson. That's who I'd take. I feel like Chad Muma is a menace on the pickleball court. Yeah. Trevor Lawrence plays a lot of pickleball. Fun fact. I just can't get into it. I mean, I like to play tennis. I'll play tennis. But I guess for me, and I'm trying to get into pickleball more because it's free to play. The current relationship that I'm in, sorry, just keep bragging about that. She likes pickleball. It's going to suck when I play and just destroy her because I'm a natural athlete, and I've played pickleball before, and she's not so much a natural athlete, right? So I'm going to probably have to take it easy on her. Although she did beat me in bocce ball. I'm very competitive, guys. Like you guys know I'm very competitive. Played sports my entire life. I coach sports. I'm an athletic director now. Like my entire job is to be competitive. My entire It's become like it was already part of me. And for this girl to beat me in pickleball or in bocce ball, I was devastated. I was like, this is how competitive I am. I like didn't talk for a few minutes. I was like, be cool. Anything you say now, you're going to regret. So do not say it. Like, I think we played to 11, and we were playing with 2 other people. I don't think I won a single bocce ball point until everyone else was at like 7 and 8 and 9. And I was like, am I this bad at bocce ball? Then I went on a run. I went on like a 6 run, ended up with 6 or 7 points, and then she wins. And I was a little upset about it. But pickleball, hard for me to get into. But I'll try. My main point I was going to say about all that was it's hard for me to do anything other than golf. I'm a big golfer. I love to golf. If I have any free time, I'd rather go to the driving range. I'd rather play 9 holes, 18 holes, because that's a fun. If you don't golf, if you think you don't like golf, it's because you haven't given it the fair shot yet. It's amazing, and the key to golf is to lower your expectations on yourself, right? Like you see professionals play golf and they shoot like 10 under, and you go out there and you shoot 20 over, and you think, wow, I am terrible at this game, but you have to remember that everybody is bad at golf. It would be like trying to compare yourself to Trevor Lawrence throwing a football. So you can't do that. Stroud, Anderson, and Simmons would be Seabreacher's pick. Colts, DJ would take DeForest Buckner. The Texans, Singletary, and the Titans, D-Hop. Simmons, Stingley, and Nelson, says Robert Lamison. Yeah, I guess Stingley should have been my answer rather than Jalen Petrie. I guess you're right. Will Levis has more than one cannon if you know. Gia is so hot. Thank God I haven't watched it. Obviously, I don't watch that type of stuff. Would not watch it. Will not watch it. Have no interest in watching it. Don't make me go on a life lesson about that, okay? Don't make me go on a life lesson about that. That stuff's bad for your brain, and you guys know it. You know it's bad for your brain. Like, physically and chemically bad for your brain. So don't do that. I know it's hard for some of you. Don't do it. Robbie Shada says, good choices, Jason. Son. Matt Guidry says, Simmons, Stingley, and Nelson is the best answer. Guidry also goes on to say, what's up, boys? I'm on a break at work right now. Nice job, Matt. Way to get that Sunday night work in. DJ M says, disc golf is fun. Robert Lemon says, I can relate. I work second shift Monday through Friday. I respect people that work those night shifts. I can't. I'll send it to you. Don't worry. I don't want it, Seabreacher. I do not want it. I don't want it. Don't send it to me. DJ M says, I need the life lesson. You guys, don't do it. Don't do it. It's not good for you, dude. I'm telling you, it's not good for you. You know it creates like problems when the real thing happens, right? Like you understand that it creates problems for you, like physically when you're doing the real thing. If you do that, you know that, right? So like it's not good for you. Like there is nothing worse than being in that situation and being incapacitated because of decisions that you made because you lack self-control. And we can call it what it is. I lack self-control too, boys. I do. I'm not perfect, right? But just try to stay away from it. You know, maybe next time you're thinking about doing it, think of me. Think of me. And that'll definitely cause you not to want to do it, okay? And remember this life lesson. If you need to clip this and put it on your phone, put it in your camera roll, and just watch that little clip, okay. All right. Jason said, all right. Listen, I'll be that for you. I'm not afraid. You want to send me a DM? Hey, man, I'm struggling right now. I'll be like, hey, don't do it. And I'll do it. I'm telling you, it creates you don't want those problems. You don't want the physical problems that it causes. Because then what are you doing? You're taking medication. You're trying to like, find stuff online, and that's just so bad for your self-esteem, dude. So bad, especially if you're a young guy. Don't do it. I promise you'll thank me. Okay. Nelson just announced his retirement. I don't think so. Was he Andrew Luck? Now you're making me look it up. No. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I wish he would. But so overall, I mean, I think the Jags finished second in the division. They, guys, I'm trying to talk here. I'm trying to talk here. DJM. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Hopefully thinking about you. That's the point, Robbie. That's the point, okay? That's the point. In all seriousness, I quit a while back. It truly changed my life. I feel so much better. Stay strong, boys. 2 days clean. I hate you guys. I hate you guys so much. You had me there. You had me there, okay? Golly, I hate you guys. Listen, I'm just trying to help you guys out, dude. I am trying to help you guys. Listen, we can talk Jags all day long, right? At the end of the day, if the Jags win or lose, we still have to live our lives, right? Regardless. We still have to live our lives. And I want you guys to have the best life you could possibly have. I really do mean that. Second in the division. I think the Jags will finish unless there's an injury of some sort. I'm not looking at the comments. Because I think they're a good team. I just think the Texans are kind of OP right now. They're lucky they have C.J. Stroud on their rookie deal, like a real rookie deal. So they're able to bring in guys that really help the team. So they're just in a really good position. They have a good coach. Titans could be good. I think they'll be better than they were last year. The Colts are going to be better than they were last year because they have the same team around them. They added some pieces. The hinge point for them is going to be Anthony Richardson, obviously. So, solid 2 days, C. Reacher. Who on defense will take a leap from playing on Ryan's defensive scheme next year? You hope that it's Trevon Walker. You hope it's Devin Lloyd. I don't know how Tyson Campbell is going to adjust to like a more predominantly man scheme. You hope Ronald Darby is kind of already does that and kind of can do that. You hope Antonio Johnson. I just can't believe that Darnell Savage is gonna play a lot when we talk in midseason. I just don't know if he's that guy, and I would love to be proved wrong. I just don't think that he is. I was a little curious when they signed him. I think he had one of the worst deep coverage ratings in the NFL last year. I know they talking about bringing him in the nickel, bringing him downhill, playing in the box, and maybe he will be better there. But at some point, when the Texans roll out their 4 wide receivers in a 2x2 or a 3x1 set, and Darnell Savage is going to have to carry a receiver down the field, even if it's down the seam, down the hashes. If I'm an offense, I'm finding Darnell Savage and I'm picking on him in coverage. Same with Devin Lloyd. Same with Antonio Johnson. But again, hopefully we're wrong about Antonio Johnson. Fun fact from Volkfang. One of my local golf courses was built by a German prisoner of war during World War II. Does it play well? There's a municipal course, which basically means a public course, here in Jacksonville. That's outstanding. It's at the beach. I'm a member there. Outstanding. And usually when you think of public courses, you don't think that they're good, but this one's pretty good. What about the women on the live that want to think of you while doing the deed? Well, that's a moot point because we know there's no women on here. Robbie Sandus helps me get over the Jags loss. All right. All I'm gonna say is just try not to do it. Try not. I think it'll help you in life. I really do. Again, I don't want you to be in a situation where you're with an actual woman and you're having problems because of your decisions that you've made. Because that happens. I'm an old man. Okay, I'm an old man. Let an old man talk to you, you youngins. That happens. Okay, and that's the worst feeling in the world, and you don't want to be in that position. So don't put yourself in that position. You may be thinking, I'm not in that situation. I won't be with a woman. I don't have a girlfriend. I'm not doing any of that stuff. I'm telling you, dude, it messes with like the chemical balances of your brain. Like there's science behind it. You can Google it. Like it changes the gray and white matter in your brain. I'm not kidding you. Like there's science. We're talking science here, boys. Guy says just pray for a healthy O-line. Nothing more embarrassing than watching our O-line getting tossed around like kids. They could have drafted somebody, but they chose not to do that. UCF Jaguar. What up, UCF Jaguar? It says streams 3-peat. Let's go. Hey, listen. I got to make up for lost time. Took a month break. Felt bad, but now I feel good. Look up Steven Nelson retirement. Not Quentin Nelson retirement. Don't care so much about Steven Nelson. UCF has no idea what he walked into. Listen. UCF knows what he's walking into. This is unfiltered, unhinged shows all the time. But yeah, I'm telling you. Make good decisions, boys. All right, that's going to wrap it up for me. I think I've talked a lot about the AFC South that I can talk about. That dude Evans says, haven't heard this advice since health class. Well, good. Good. That's what I'm here for. All right. Maybe we'll talk about taxes on the next show, right? Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. I had a lot of fun as always. Thanks for being here. Stop. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Who knows what my next show will be? It could be it could be tomorrow. It could be, but I will be doing I'll do the other channel tomorrow morning. So make sure to do that. I appreciate all you guys being here. Thank you to the channel members. Follow everything. Subscribe to everything. I love you guys. You guys know I love you guys. I'll see you guys soon. And until then, as always, go Jags.
Turned, no appetite, what feelings are this way? See you at the bar, an empty seat